What's going on, guys? My name is Jake,
My name is Ethan.
and this is Keep It American.
You're going to want to turn the light off, grab a blanket, make some popcorn, because this is going to be a long night for you.
This story is called The Boy with No Eyes. One night when I was 10, I was woken by my bedroom door swinging open, followed by someone sitting on my bed. I felt my leg grazed and the bed sink under a person's weight. Thinking it was my mom, I opened my eyes to see an eyeless boy. He had very black, soulless, empty sockets. About my age, sitting at the foot of my bed. He extended his hand, and in it was a little box. I was startled, but reached out. He pulled back. I reached again and said, "Give it." Then I blinked, and when I reopened my eyes, he was gone. But the imprint of someone sitting on my bed was present.
Fast forward 5 years, my girlfriend came over to do homework. After she finished, she took a nap while she waited for her parents. When they arrived, I tried waking her up. She opened her eyes suddenly, looking up at the corner where the wall met the ceiling. She pointed there and went back to sleep. I shook her again. She came to full consciousness, and I explained what she'd done. She said, "Up on the wall, I saw a little boy with no eyes. He was there in a Spider-Man pose, staring at me." I freaked out and told her my story about the same kid.
Fast forward another 5 years. I was with the same girlfriend, and we had a 2-year-old daughter. We were living in my parents' house in my old bedroom. My daughter started waking up at the same time every night, and she'd talk. After a while, I noticed she had almost the same conversation every night. I playfully asked her once whom she was talking to. She said, "It's a little boy. He's nice. He's lost and looking for his mommy." My daughter's nightly conversations continued until we got our own place later that year.
Okay, I don't know about you, Jake, but that story right there gave me, no joke, full body chills.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with you. The story had a certain type of feeling as we were
Right.
recording it. Even as we were recording it, kind of gave us chills, I think.
Even before we added everything in, sound effects, music, the story alone was good enough to just... wow.
So, what do you think that creature or boy was?
A dead boy that could not be laid to rest in time.
But explain, what do you think the reasoning behind the no eyes?
Oh my god, the no eyes. I'd say something terrible happened to that boy.
Yeah.
Something traumatic, and he was never laid to rest.
I think, this is my theory on it, is I think a long time ago, there was a little boy that someone, either he was kidnapped or his dad, someone gouged his eyes out
Wow.
and forced him to live a life without sight.
So this boy lived his entire life without eyesight.
But the thing is, in my theory, I think throughout his first 10 years of his life, he got fed up with the bullying and everything and took his own life.
So you think the boy killed himself?
Yeah. And I think from that point forward, after he had passed away, his spirit would haunt little boys and girls because those were the age that had, made fun of him.
Yes, and here's another thing. Do you remember when he had that box? He gave that box to that one girl.
Right. What do you think was in it? And he gave it to a boy.
Well, yeah, the boy, excuse me, when he was 10 years old. The other boy said, "Give it," and at that point, he was just gone.
I think I know what was in the box.
I have no clue, so if you could clue me in.
I think it's something to do with vision. So either glasses or like fake eyes or
Okay.
even his real eyeballs. Like, what do you think? Because this creature had to have some sort of reality to it for these children to say specifics like he was a boy my age, you know, and stuff like that.
Could have been his eyes. And if it's his eyes, that's a whole nother level.
But see, I think it's his eyes, but he didn't show them his eyes, like in the box, just because he wanted to kind of, you know, put a fear in them of don't take advantage of
what
the
you
life
have.
of the life you were given.
And this little boy is telling these people that. Wow.
And I think as scary as the story was,
And as short as it was as well,
Right.
this was a very short story.
I think that there is a positive to take from it. Now, that's my theory. Now, what is your theory?
Now, my theory is just this is a boy that was either murdered or, plain and simple, was not put to rest, did not have a proper funeral, did not have a proper burial, and just is living a life as like a ghost or a spirit here on Earth and wants to be laid to rest. So I think that in that box really contains something that, I don't know, that could put him to rest for once and for good.
Do you think it was maybe something like that if the boy would have actually taken the box, something that the boy would have been scarred for life, or maybe a sign to do something
A sign to do something,
to
for
put
sure.
the little boy to rest?
For sure.
What do you think that could have been, though?
A note about maybe like a secret burial site, or maybe, hey, you know, my father killed my entire family, including me, and he did this to our eyes, or something messed up like that. And maybe this was like coordinates to where that family is at. I don't know, something like that, because he wasn't properly laid to rest.
Yeah, so with my theory and your theory, I think mine has more of an upside to it.
Right.
And yours kind of has like a downside. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to say negative, but it's not something, you know, that is positive, and something that is, you know, looking up. So I think, you know, that it was a positive thing.
Right, so we both have different takes on this whole thing. So I think that's where we end it.
Let us know what you guys think. You heard both of our theories. Let us know what you think, and let us know what you think of the story.
In the comment section down below. Now, let's go into the next one.
This story is called Behind the Shower Curtain. In 7th grade, my friends and I went over to Mary's house, intent on playing with her mom's Ouija board that night. None of us had played with one before. Mary's mom was an extremely spiritual person who believed in energies, witchcraft, stuff like that. Before we used the board, Mary warned us that her mom would be really pissed if she found out that we were playing with it because Ouija boards can attract bad spirits into the home. With full knowledge of this, we decided to proceed anyways.
This Ouija board was not like the average Ouija board you've ever seen. Along with usual characteristics, the alphabet yes, no, goodbye, there was an entire array of symbols and signs that were used, arranged in a circle. This was some seriously intricate stuff.
We started just goofing around and communicating with random spirits here and there until we finally met one that had us in tears the entire sleepless night. First, we asked the spirit if it was a man or a woman, to which he replied, M-A-N. Then we asked how he was killed. M-U-R-D-E-R. That freaked us out. All of a sudden, before we even asked another question, the glass goes to the eyeball symbol. then spells out I-N and goes to the water symbol.
We didn't have a clue what it meant. It wasn't too scary until the spirit spelled out SHOWER. And my best friend realized the spirit was trying to get us to look into the shower.
We froze. I've never been so scared in my entire life, especially sitting directly in front of a bathroom with the shower curtain all the way closed, faced in my direction. We all screamed and promised on our friendships that we had not moved it ourselves. I felt like I was being watched, and my friends thought so too. It was only 4 of us, and I believe with all my heart that none of them had moved it because we were all too nervous to do anything.
I'll never use a Ouija board again because of how crazy and intense that night was. I understand that people say Ouija boards are controlled by your subconscious, but fuck that. I know I felt something in that room with us, and I know it was dangerous.
A few minutes go by, and me and another friend decide to get up and go to the bathroom. We finally got up enough courage to pull the shower curtain back. When we were walking closer and closer to the door, about 2 feet from it, it slammed shut. Me and my friend sprint back to the Ouija board. As we get back to the table where the Ouija board sat, we all closed our eyes, but he would never let us say goodbye. I personally thought that story was chilling, but not as bad as the first one. The Ouija board is something that has been around for a while, that children and even adults like to explore with. And sometimes exploring with those can be very dangerous, as you've seen in this story. I have personally never played with a Ouija board, and I don't plan on it, because I've seen stories and heard of really bad things happening to people that do. My take on the whole thing was the man that was talking to them through the Ouija board was a spirit that was left in that house, that had died in that house, that was killed, for that fact, in his own home, and just wanted to make sure that those kids knew what they were getting into. Ethan, what do you take on this?
Mine's just plain and simple, man. Do not mess with Ouija boards. Plain and simple. If you mess with Ouija boards, it's not gonna end well. I don't think I've seen one single story where somebody messed with a Ouija board and then they were happy by the end of it. Just don't do it. If you see a Ouija board at Hot Topic, leave it there.
Well, guys, that's all the time we have for today. Let us know what you thought about the story. My name is Jake.
My name is Ethan.
And this is Keep It American.